I understand Frankenstein never offered you a name. I should like to call you Zombie Takeout. What's up? Welcome to episode 251 of Zombie
Zombie
Takeout,
Takeout.
the B-Movie and Cult Movie Podcast. I'm Uncle John.
And I'm Scotto.
And before we get to this week's movie, we've got quite a bit of listeners submitted, and we have a voicemail.
No.
And it's not one of us calling in under an assumed name like we've done in the past.
What? I've never done that before.
So there really is an Awesome Talks out there somewhere.
There could be.
This is from Devilish DJ Scott in reference to Metropolis.
I swear to God it isn't me.
No, I've listened, it's not.
Okay.
Let's give it an actual listen, no?
Alright.
What's going on, you guys? This is Devilish DJ Scott here out in Buffalo, New York. Just want to let you know, I've watched the Metropolis movie before on Netflix, and actually at one point had two versions out. They had a colorized version with, I believe it was another soundtrack to it, and then they had, obviously, the original black and white one. My thoughts, though, on it is the show, or the movie, I should say, would have been better, or at least I could have stood it a little bit better, if the remake had been done with Queen doing the whole soundtrack. I don't know, for some reason that kind of show, that movie just seemed to be something that Queen would have done, like with what they did with Flash Gordon. So, I don't know, that's just my thought. Keep up the good work, guys, and can't wait to hear your next episode. See ya.
I have to agree. I think Metropolis would have been way better with Queen doing the soundtrack. If you haven't seen it, you might want to keep an eye out for the video. Actually, just look on YouTube for the video for Radio Gaga. They completely borrowed everything from Metropolis.
Yeah, a remake would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah, but definitely anybody who can get the rights from both sources.
With Queen, yeah.
Combine the two, it would be awesome. Please. Also, we have and this isn't exactly listener submitted, but we have our first piece of fan art. Can't really play it on the show because it's all music, but M Plays made a trailer for this week's episode and included it in her most recent episode about Shadow of the Colossus. I posted her episode on the Facebook page, the Google Plus page, and on our Twitter account. She also sent me the trailer itself in isolation. I'm just waiting for an okay to upload it to our YouTube account. As soon as she gives me the go, I will put it up there too.
I'm confused by the trailer. Is it that she's afraid of the movie? She hates the movie? Or she's afraid, or, most likely not hating of us.
No.
Is she afraid of what we're going to do to this movie?
I think it was just going for an overall horror vibe because it's a Frankenstein movie.
One would think that, right?
And, I mean, if it's a reaction to the movie, it would be quite fitting, but we'll get to that.
It's going to be a really good episode.
A little bit of listener submitted left. This is from Danny Meeks on Google Plus in reference to the trailer for this week's movie, I, Frankenstein. He said, "Maybe the worst movie of last year. AMC actually gave me a free movie pass when I left the theater halfway through."
I was so nervous that you were going to say, I love this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I rarely go to look at, the IMDb discussion board, and I happened to before this episode, and I just kept getting angrier and angrier. It was almost one of those Clerks 2, I think it was, or Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where one of those where they were looking to ready to look up the person's address. Only it was because they weren't trashing the movie.
I think I probably liked it more than you did, but that's not to say that I liked it. But before we get to this week's Hatchet Job, a little bit of news. This is from JustJared.com. Sharknado 4 greenlit by Syfy. Fans to vote on April's fate. Good news, Sharknado fans. Another sequel is on its way. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Sharknado 4 has officially been greenlit by Syfy. at the end of the third flick, and there's a slight spoiler here, which
Oh, man.
premiered tonight on July 22nd, and
It's saving it for the show, man.
this is the most minor spoiler I can give you, and it actually did make it out.
Really cares.
Tara Reid's character is nearly killed before the screen goes to black. You decide if #April lives or #April dies, the screen then read. A voiceover said, "Now's your chance to be part of Sharknado history. You decide if April lives or dies by tweeting your choice or by going to the website. Her fate will be revealed in Sharknado 4 because we're not done yet." I voted that she lives. Had a chance to see it on Sunday. Not as good as the second one, but quite a bit better than the first.
I didn't think it could beat that second one. That second one is really strong.
I'll just give my little thumbnail review. First half drags a lot because they take way too long getting to the actual Sharknado,
which is ridiculous.
Once it starts, it's real solid. It's on par with the second. Maybe not quite as good, but and this is the reason I want to review it after Horns. The last 10 minutes redefine batshit insane. The arm gag from 2, nothing compared to the end of 3.
All right.
I'll even go so far as to say, in terms of insanity, not in terms of transgression, but in terms of just sheer insanity, the end of Dead Snow 2 pales in comparison to Sharknado 3.
Wow. And you know what? I had thought of an idea for a good sequel for Dead Snow 2, actually. The result of that action.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I would like to see them go there. It's not as transgressive and just wrong as Dead Snow 2, because there's only one place they could go there.
I'm trying not to spoil the end of Dead Snow 2.
But it is more insane. I'll just spoil the beginning of the insane section. They use the Strategic Defense Initiative, aka the Star Wars plan, for those of us old enough to remember the 80s, to destroy or to take apart what one character called a sharkicane. Multiple Sharknadoes coming together to form a sharkicane, a wall they call it. And they use satellites armed with lasers.
Okay. Let's not spoil anymore.
No, that is a very minor spoiler because it gets tenfold more insane after that.
All right.
Anyway, on to this week's movie, which is from 2014, I, Frankenstein. Of course, that brings us to the impromptu plot summary, sponsored by Deja Vu. I could swear that I've seen this movie before. No, wait, that was Underworld. Or was it The Prophecy?
Or was it Batman?
Could have been Highlander.
Could have been any one of those. Well, anyway, also brought to you by time, because, muscles and bones never degenerate.
They just keep going over hundreds of years.
If you charge them with the right amount of electricity. So, they begin at the end of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, who I swear had to have turned in her grave.
Actually, the book parts were fairly faithful.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Until
what they covered of the book, I mean, Victor never tried to kill Adam, but that's really the only variation. And I don't
stop calling him Adam.
No, he's called Adam in the book too.
Okay.
He is called Adam in the book. That was one of the things I thought was a nice touch.
But she named him Adam.
And Victor calls him Adam in the book.
Oh.
He names him Adam initially. But I don't know if he killed Victor in the book, or if it ended with the chase. I don't remember that.
It ended with the chase, from what I remember.
Okay. So that was slightly different too, but
yeah.
It was inevitable he was going to kill Victor. So yeah, it starts with him carrying Victor's body.
And upon burying Victor is when it gets all Twilight on us. My notes, my first 3 notes all begin with, wait, what? It's the hooligans from the one Kevin Smith movie with the devil, from Dogma. Only they turn into flying demons and...
That's funny. I couldn't remember the name of that movie a couple weeks ago.
And then there's these gargoyles who are on the other side who, start fighting and...
a war between demons and gargoyles who are effectively angels, if you've seen Prophecy.
Right. And
The Prophecy, the movie, the Glenn Danzig thing.
we really need to do
It's on the list.
Prophecy still. Yeah, I know we've been pulling up for years. Some walking,
So he gets pulled into the war.
So right, he's kind of the centerpiece of the war because, because somebody else has a blueprint now for creating life other than God.
Right.
And so the demons can use him to create an army of, animated subjects themselves, or the gargoyles could use him to beat the shit out of the demons.
Yeah.
Because one thing they reveal is the gargoyles are really shitty at fighting.
Yeah.
They get their asses kicked repeatedly. And they aren't very good either because they kind of betray Frankenstein or Adam in this.
Evil will always win because good is stupid.
Yeah, so
or good is dumb. That's the exact one.
But they're not even nice good or trustworthy good.
No.
So what's going on is that 200 years later, because of course he's immortal, he really should have been called Russell instead of Adam in this. He's got a lab, the Demon Prince, to try to recreate Victor Frankenstein's work, to create his own army, and of course the lab technician or professor that he has working for him suddenly gets introduced to what she is helping here.
Bella meets Edward.
Right, and she then meets Adam, and of course he charms her with his primitive ways, I guess. And
well, they say scars are sexy, so.
And man, was he cut. When he took his shirt off, he was really cut. You get what I said?
Cut. Scars,
it's a double. It's a double. Yeah. It's got two meanings. There really isn't much to go at this point.
No. From then, it's demons come after him. He fights back. Gargoyles try to protect him / enlist him into the war. He decides he'd rather look out for the human. Gargoyles try to kill him.
Well, yeah, there's pointless fight scenes.
I've seen porn with more interesting plots. Hell, I think Mortal Kombat had a more compelling plot.
It was, but anyway, so they have two MacGuffins here. They have Adam himself or Victor's work. When they have Adam under their protection, quote unquote, when they get their asses kicked, and they wind up just taking their queen because they're just shitty fighters. Why did the demons just do this to them in the first place, really?
Yeah,
they have that much of an advantage. Why would they need, Adam to come along to do any of that? But anyway, the one I guess Gideon, the one angel,
the gargoyles are effectively angels.
Yeah, to get her back, decides to exchange Victor Frankenstein's work for her safe return, despite her giving an order not to do that. And do they ever address that? No.
Good is dumb.
He still throws up in her face that she should have killed Adam from the beginning, and she's not doing her job. Why is he still alive? Is all I kept thinking. So yeah, Adam is all alone in the middle of this conflict, and he winds up choosing humanity, and hilarity ensues.
Now, like I said, it covers the book very nicely, and it does it in a minute and a half.
Yeah, that was a good minute and a half, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. Going in, I was convinced that I would be ranting about how it deviates from the book. No, it was fairly faithful, probably one of the most faithful adaptations I've seen, but just for a minute and a half. And aside from the Adam thing, which I swear is in the book, Victor calls him that, there's also a nice reference to the movies. When the gargoyles first find him, one of the gargoyles says, "It's alive, it's alive."
Yeah.
I got a kick out of that. Now, there is one thing that makes this movie watchable. The performances, pretty much all around, are very solid.
Yeah. If you told me we were going into this, you got Bill Nighy and Aaron Eckhart.
Bill Nighy, the British actor, not the science guy.
Yeah. But if you told me, okay, it's got these people in it, Miranda Otto,
Yep.
and their performances are all good, I'd be
And
like, wow.
some very solid performances from the other actors whose names I don't know.
Right. There wasn't really a bad performance in this.
Not at all. It's everything else that's the problem.
The problem.
Yeah.
I was ready to tap out after about 18 minutes.
I was good for 30 because of the performances. I enjoyed watching the acting for about a half hour.
I felt bad for them because you know what? I mean, they knew how bad the script was. That's true. But you know what? None of them knew when they were making this how awful the CGI was going to be.
The CGI and makeup reminded me of Buffy. And Buffy was made in the late 90s on a TV budget.
It was like we watched an episode, a CGI version at least, of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Wow, I wouldn't go quite that far. It was 90s syndicated TV CG.
I don't even know why it was PG-13. What made it 13?
That's a good question. A lot of fantasy violence, I guess.
There was hardly a dry. There was some blood on Adam.
All right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only person that got bloody in this whole movie. Everything else were those stupid goddamn fiery swirls.
Well, like Buffy with the dusting to keep from having to clean up all the gore at the end of every episode.
Holy cow.
They had the demons turn into fireballs that descended down, and the gargoyles turned into beams of light that went up.
So every fight scene was just this movie was made by 6-year-olds. That's the only thing I could come to conclusion I could reach. That a 6-year-old came up with the script, and a 6-year-old just said, "Let's put some CGI effects on it." And the battle is just swirls of flame.
And the choreography is not even that good.
I couldn't even tell you what the choreography looked like because it was buried under the CGI.
This film is basically the embodiment of mediocrity, with some good performances thrown in.
I don't know. Mediocrity, I think, is even too good for
You think it's below mediocre? Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No, there was one other thing I liked about it. That they avoided the whole flathead blazer thing for the monster.
I think maybe not the flathead bolt thing, but he needed to be more of a monster.
Well, yeah, it was just Adam Eckhart with some scars. Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, they kind of were a little. They didn't want to cover his face, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
He's not really known for his looks. I don't know why they wanted to cover his face.
It didn't make any sense.
Another thing that didn't make any sense, since you mentioned that, Frankenstein. I keep on to call him Frank. The monster Adam was immortal. We start in the late 1700s when the book takes place, obviously, and then we cut to modern day 200 years later. And he's still alive and looks the same. And they say that he was made immortal because Victor used a lot of electricity to bring him to life. Although I do think
the thing I know with like batteries and stuff, they never run out or die.
Especially if you overcharge them, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Although I did think that saying that he used eels instead of lightning was a nice touch. It was kind of clever. But they also kind of gave away all of Nibirius's plans, the evil prince, Bill Nighy's character. When the first time you see him, his lab crew, they're reanimating a rat. Oh, at this point he wanted Adam, and now he's reanimating a rat. Obviously, he's trying to learn the secrets to bring, corpses back to life.
Yeah, there is no mystery.
No.
One of the most confusing comments on the message boards where someone had said something about a plot twist
Where?
and I was like, what? Where were we watching the same movie? This was, A to B. You knew everything that was going to happen before it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Also, along those same lines, in that same scene where you see the rat and you figure out, not only who he is, but exactly what he's doing, one of his underlings has to actually say the name Prince Nibirius.
Yes.
Haven't we all already gotten there?
And the makeup jobs, that was Power Ranger villain makeup.
Yeah. Except it was all CG, I think.
You think that was
The gargoyles were definitely all CG.
Well, the gargoyles were, but a lot of the demon makeup.
I don't know. I think they were CG. The only thing I think was actual practical makeup were Adam's scars.
When he became the prince, pretty much, at the end.
Yeah, that was definitely CG, because his skin comes
so?
off. Well, his skin comes off burns off, and he suddenly becomes his demon.
But I think that he had
he may have actually had a headpiece on, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, it looked a bit too shiny to be practical makeup. Now, I will say, I do think that the basic story of the war, as derivative as it is, could have been interesting, but crowbarring in Frankenstein's monster was a bit silly and unnecessary.
It was interesting when it was in Prophecy.
No, it was... Yeah, this is the breakdown. If you've seen Prophecy, this is the war between the angels and the demons.
Yeah.
And if you've seen Underworld, imagine Adam, Frankenstein, the monster, is the hybrid in Underworld. They're basically trying to protect the hybrid, and kind of both sides are trying to use him, and yeah, it's that story. Except we don't get to see Kate Beckinsale walking around in tight leather.
This was just such a shoehorning of so many things that have been already done. It was putting Highlander in the middle of Prophecy.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then ending with him turning into Batman.
And he actually, and this is jumping ahead, but he actually says the name of the movie at the end.
Yeah.
And they teased me. And this probably annoyed me more than anything else in the movie.
You?
They teased me because they showed a monster scientist. They showed, a demon scientist.
Yeah.
In the history of the movies that we've watched, the scientist working for the bad guys is always the most interesting and funny character.
True.
Most recently, Dead Snow 2.
Right.
But also, Blood Rain 3, you had Clint Howard's character.
Right. You can't go wrong with Clint Howard.
Yeah, and there have been a few other cases. In this case, they show the demon scientist, and then you never see him again. He didn't even have a line.
I thought he said something like, "Oh, thank you very much," and then he takes off.
Maybe he had one short line.
His only purpose was to set up a sequel, wasn't it?
Okay, yeah, he did kind of set up a sequel. You're right, yeah.
That's his only purpose.
Yeah.
He has no bearing on anything that happens in this.
Now, this wasn't completely conceived for a movie. It's actually based on a graphic novel by Kevin Grevious, who also conceived of Underworld, so he's kind of ripping himself off here. Now, on the positive side, I will say that it didn't drag. It didn't feel as long as it was.
Oh my god, it felt long. I was so ready to tap out. I couldn't believe I still had an hour to go by the time we were half an hour into it.
I was generally bored and playing solitaire, but I wasn't really watching the clock. So
I should have watched the Yankees beat the Rangers.
Also, did Nibirius give Adam the same speech that Vader gave Luke on Bespin?
Oh,
During the final confrontation, he basically did the, join me and we'll rule the galaxy as father and son speech.
It was very close to that, yeah. Oh, we missed Star Wars in our references too, huh? Yeah.
Oh, also another reference to the book, I think I'd have to check, but the line from the journal, when they're reading, directly from the journal, I think that was from the book. I'm just trying to give it anything.
This is the stuff that give comic books or graphic novels a bad rap.
Yeah. Or right particularly here, comic movie adaptations.
Well, I mean, it's the source material, right? I mean, I imagine he didn't go far from that.
Also, when did Adam pick up the push blade? Because the gargoyles take him in, and but he won't stay with them. He decides he needs to go off on his own because
I
he's the
think I
hero.
remember him taking the push blade.
I don't remember because he takes the Eskrima sticks or the collie sticks. And how does Frankenstein's monster know how to use collie sticks? He's an incredible martial artist for someone who has no training and came from Eastern Europe in the late 1700s.
It's just like the World War II soldiers in Dead
Yeah,
Zone 2. They're like all Bruce Lee, Jet Li.
But he takes these collie sticks, and I didn't see him pocket the push blade. Push blade, for those who don't know, it's a dagger, but the handle is like a T-shape perpendicular to the blade, so you can put it between your fingers and punch with it.
Was that he'd given that to what's her name to protect herself?
Yeah, but when did he take it from the gargoyles?
Oh, I think when he was just weapon shopping.
Maybe he just pocketed it and I didn't catch it. All right. I did think it was a nice touch that he asked her to make his bride, because that was something they didn't reference from the original until then.
Yeah.
But okay, the big plot hole.
Oh my god.
Well, one of the many, I should say. So hell is a physical place that you can actually get to if you dig down enough. And apparently heaven is up, although the earth is spherical, so we're up.
Which direction do you have to be pointing to be pointing towards heaven?
Yeah, actually that's the bigger hole than hell apparently being at the center of the earth.
Exactly, yeah. Hell could be in the core, why not? Sure, we'll go with that. It's a hot place.
Time Lord technology somehow involved.
I remember once there was a preacher who fell through the earth's mantle.
Yes. Also, I did like the destruction of the mansion at the end.
Oh my god.
That was kind of fun to watch. It wasn't well done in terms of effects, but it was fun to watch.
Well, you know it would have been fun if they had the same music from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I didn't even put that together, you're right.
Because it had like the same shot at the end of them like
going home, yeah. Or not going, it wasn't going home, it was superheroes.
Yeah, we're there.
Which kind of fits this movie too.
This really could do a good Rocky Horror kind of treatment.
Oh god, yeah. I could totally hear superheroes playing at the end. Actually, oh shit. I want to see Frankenstein, the scientist, and one of the gargoyles doing superheroes now. As the mansion crumbles. Anyway, on to sequels and remakes.
On the sequels and remakes.
Much doubt has been cast over a sequel due to the film's lackluster budget. Well, lackluster box office, I should say.
No.
Thank the Force. Though Kevin Greaves, creator of the graphic novel and the Underworld film series, had earlier expressed interest in making more I, Frankenstein films, along with an Underworld crossover film.
Oh boy.
He stated in a pre-release interview that in an early draft of the screenplay, Kate Beckinsale would have made a post-credits cameo appearance as Selene, and that there would have been Underworld Easter eggs, but none of that was used. That would have bought it a half a brain.
Really gives a shit about Underworld anyway.
That if she'd shown up in the tight leather, that would have bought it a half a brain for me. But okay, this crossing over with Underworld, I think that would destroy the universe. It's kind of, like they always say, the same matter can't exist in the same place at the same time. That's what would happen. It's like going back in time and shaking hands with yourself. It destroys everything.
Well, you think the sequel should be sort of like Avengers kind of thing with him, Russell Nash, Kate Beckinsale from Underworld.
Russell Nash. I'm not sure of that reference.
Highlander.
Oh, okay.
You
mentioned Russell earlier. I didn't put it together.
Who would be the fourth member?
Well, actually, okay. We've got Frankenstein.
Batman?
Well, we've got Frankenstein.
Yeah.
We'll get a vampire. Random vampire. Maybe Kate Beckinsale would be nice for the eye candy.
Yeah.
We've got werewolves in that movie too, so okay. We need a mummy. I'm seeing Monster Squad the movie.
Oh boy.
Was it Monster Squad? No, that was the Fred Savage movie. What was the cartoon from the 80s with, all the classic movie monsters solving crimes?
Why wouldn't you get Bubba Hotep?
Yes. Good call. I'm just trying to recreate that cartoon that I can't think of the name of. That I'm probably the only one who remembers. There was an 80s cartoon. It was a bunch of classic movie monsters who were solving crimes as teenagers.
So you got Frankenstein, Kate Beckinsale. We get
Bubba
Hotep.
Wolf Cop. There we go.
Oh, the Wolf Cop. Holy shit.
There we go
There
with
you
solving
go.
crimes.
That's your movie.
They solve crimes in a van. Yeah, it's set in the 80s. It's perfect. It's a prequel.
This movie would have been a million times better if the people in it knew they were in a comedy.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they had no idea just how bad this movie was going to be when they were making it.
Yeah.
They really believed fully in it. Why? You look at that script. Why do you think that something good is going to come from this? Is beyond me.
Yeah.
But they really got sold on it, and they really thought they were in something good.
And it
instead,
couldn't have paid a lot because it
probably not.
didn't seem like it had much of a budget.
Probably not. But they thought they were like at the start of a franchise here.
Maybe
you know?
that's what it was.
You know, they thought that this is going to put Eckhart on the map. That he's finally getting his big break, and
He's a good actor, but he really needs a little help choosing roles now and then.
yeah. Holy cow! Well, he's done some really good work.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in some great movies. Like, I mean, he was in Inception, wasn't he?
Was he? Maybe briefly. He wasn't a star of it.
No, he's just been a supporting guy.
Maybe he had a small role. It's been a while. I need to rewatch that.
Like
he was
Batman.
in Dark Knight. Yeah, I think that was his most high-profile role, actually.
Which is, I think, why they cast him for this. This was, this is his version of Batman here.
This is true. Yeah.
They just put Frankenstein in Batman. I mean, that's the problem here.
That really was the ending speech, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm a Dark Knight,
yeah.
and I'm watching over this city.
Yeah,
It's just like what the fuck? How many more things can you shoehorn in on us here?
Mm-hmm.
Just one original thought. That's all I'm asking, dude. One fucking original thought in an hour and a half film.
Yeah, I don't think there were any.
No, there was absolutely none. I mean, he used the book faithfully for that first minute and a half,
and there were some nice references,
which was kind of cool. And then after that, it was just fighting without violence.
Yeah.
Just watch the colors fly by.
I think the eels, instead of the lightning, was original, but maybe that's from the book and I'm just forgetting. That could have been the one original thought, though.
But it was just an anecdote.
Yeah, it was a quick passing thing. I'm just saying, I'm just finding that one possibly original, piece of, creativity in the movie. On to brains.
On to brains.
So you've talked me down.
Off the ledge.
Well, I wasn't going that high, but you have talked me down a brain. The performances were good. I liked the references to the book. That's about it. I'm going to.
Yeah, when we put this trilogy of shit together, and this is the first.
Yes, this begins a trilogy of shit. You were hopeful about this one.
I went into this thinking it was going to be a mediocre movie. It might have been a little bit of popcorn, eye candy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, did this really belong in a trilogy of shit? Is when I was going in.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. I was admittedly kind of hopeful, despite the fact that I adore the book.
I am now seriously wondering if
it's going to go downhill
or Left Behind can actually be worse than this.
Catwoman, maybe not. I am reasonably sure that Left Behind will be far worse.
I mean, this was...
I'm open to being pleasantly surprised by Catwoman, but I have absolutely no hope for Left Behind.
Yeah, it was just an hour and a half of my life I'm never getting back again. But it did have some good acting, and someone knew how to hold a camera, right? So I will give it a brain.
Okay. And what have we learned?
That Victor Frankenstein couldn't sew for shit.
And I learned that Bill Nighy will do anything for $1. Seriously, take a look at his IMDb page. He will do anything. I was kind of flabbergasted when I actually looked at his filmography and saw some of the shit that he has done, because he is a legitimately brilliant actor.
Oh yeah, I was having trouble believing that it was really him at first. So like, wow, the guy looks just like Phil Nighy. How'd they find him?
He was also in the Underworld series, which is why he's in this. Kevin Gravius had him on the Rolodex, and apparently he will do anything for $1.
You quit after being Basil Exposition. That's all there is to it.
Well, he wasn't Basil Exposition. That was Michael Irons. Michael Irons. Jeremy Irons. No, the other one. Michael. I can't think of his name, but it wasn't Bill Nighy.
I really thought it was Bill Nighy.
Yes, we're Googling during the show. You tend to do this, but I try to avoid it because I'm recording, but Basil Exposition. Looking for the actor's name, and I can't find it. Oh, Basil Exposition. There's a whole article. Michael York. That's I can never.
Okay,
I always get him confused with Jeremy Irons because they did a thing in the late 70s. Rich Man, Poor Man, I think it was called.
I can't see him getting confused with Jeremy Irons, but I can see
They
him
look nothing
confused with
alike,
Bill
but
Nighy.
they were in this thing in the late 70s. Yes. They look a bit alike, yeah. I'm just pulling up the picture. Yeah, even young, he looked a bit like Bill Nighy. You're right.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's even more sad. But he wasn't Basil Exposition. He doesn't even have that to his credit.
He was in Hot Fuzz, though. He was the chief.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But there is some shit in his filmography that is, given his abilities, kind of sad. He's another Ben Kingsley. And just to sideline on that.
I don't know. I think he's got it on Ben Kingsley.
He might have Ben Kingsley beat. And
G-Force.
To tangent, I'm a little worried that Dinklage is going to be a Ben Kingsley as well. He's in the new Adam Sandler Kevin James movie.
That was probably a big paycheck, though.
An Adam Sandler movie?
Yes.
I don't know if Adam Sandler can give the big paychecks anymore. Not after
that
Grown
was
Ups.
Probably a huge paycheck.
Well, it could have been, yeah. But we are talking about, and having seen him in a handful of roles, I'm willing to say one of the finest actors of our time.
Yeah. He needs to do something good, though, on his own.
In a lead role on one of the most popular television series at the moment.
Yeah.
He can do anything he wants. And he's doing an Adam Sandler, Kevin James joint.
He took the money.
He took the money. Exactly my point. He's following in Ben Kingsley's footsteps.
But
and apparently Bill Nighy's.
Ben Kingsley did not. I guarantee you, well, maybe for Species, Ben Kingsley got a big paycheck.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a paycheck role. But he was also in Blood Rain. Let's not forget.
Well, right,
which couldn't have been a paycheck role.
Were not big paychecks.
No.
But I tell you, Adam Sandler, Kevin James. I mean, there's a lot of money there. There probably won't be very much.
10 years ago, maybe, but not. I don't know. I think anyway. It's possible that it was for the money. Either way, that doesn't make it any less sad. That it's one of the most brilliant actors to come along in a long time. Anyway, moving on from that digression, on to next week when we'll be reviewing Catwoman, continuing our trilogy of shit. I'm trying to stay hopeful just because this has a similar reputation to Glitter, and that wasn't nearly as bad as we expected it to be. We said that if we'd been in the target demographic, we would have liked it.
True.
And we're kind of in the target demographic for a superhero movie. So I'm hopeful, especially after this, and I need something. I need a bone. I need some kind of lifesaver, life raft before Left Behind, because that's gonna suck. Warren's is gonna be exceptional.
Oh yeah, Oscar worthy.
Until then, go to zombietakeout.com, check out the album art, the episode description, of course the episode itself, which you're already listening to, links to find us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and YouTube, links to subscribe via RSS and iTunes. Please leave us a rating and review on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it, and if you enjoyed the show, spread the word, give us a little word of mouth. Of course, we appreciate every listener we have now, but more would be better. You'll also find the movie list, every movie we've reviewed so far, and every movie we're going to review, up until, Sharknado 3 now. We're going to have to pad it out because we've only got a few weeks left on it. Going to have to pick some new movies soon.
I thought we had quite a...
We've got the rest of this trilogy, Horns, and Sharknado now.
Okay,
so
yeah.
We've got about a month.
Yeah, you're right.
You'll also find the request form. If you've got a movie you'd like to hear us review, please leave it on the request form. I'm sure we'd be very open after, all of this. And, of course, the recommendations list. I wasn't hopeful to begin with, but I had no idea how far it was gonna miss.
I was shocked. I didn't think it was gonna be on it.
Mm-hmm. I thought it would come close. So
I thought I was doing like a 2.5, 3 brain kind of thing here at most.
Mm-hmm.
But just utterly stunned at how bad this was.
You can also email us, zombietakeout@gmail.com, or like Devilish DJ Scott, leave us a voicemail at 414-368-CTL1, or for the alphanumerically challenged,
They can
414-368.
watch this movie.
They can disappear into a swirly bit of fire. 9861.
Swirly fire, swirly fire, swirly fire. That's the battle scenes.
Of course, always remember that you will always be going from the middle of Milwaukee, and until next time, always remember, never forget, wherever you go in life,
there you are.
You saw that thing. You saw what it was.
I don't know what I saw.
Take the opening?
It's your line. You take it.
Was it my line?
Oh no, it's my line. Sorry, it was your title. My line, right?
Yeah.